Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss the distribution of drugs, the basic concept of distribution. Now, whenever the drug molecule it enters the systemic circulation, whenever the drug is administered either by intravenous or by extravascular route, once the drug enters the systemic circulation, it is subjected to a series of processes called as disposition processes. I repeat, once the drug enters the systemic circulation, it is subjected to a series of processes called as disposition processes. And the main function of these disposition processes is to lower the plasma concentration of the drug. So, let us discuss in detail about this disposition process. As we have discussed earlier, disposition is defined as the processes that tend to lower the plasma concentration of the drug. There are two major disposition processes. They are, first one is distribution and the second one is elimination. Distribution is nothing but the reversible transfer of drug between compartments. One compartment to other. Whereas elimination is the irreversible loss of drug from the body. Distribution is a reversible process, whereas elimination is a irreversible loss of drug. Elimination process is further divided into two sub-processes. They are biotransformation and excretion. As we can see, the processes that tend to lower the plasma concentration of drug are called as disposition processes. There are two major disposition processes. They are distribution and elimination. Distribution is the reversible transfer of drug from one compartment to other, whereas elimination is the irreversible loss of drug from the body. Elimination is further divided into biotransformation, which is nothing but metabolism, and then excretion. So let us discuss about distribution in detail. What is distribution? Distribution is defined as the reversible transfer of drug between one compartment and the another. And after absorption, once the drug reaches the systemic circulation, the drug is distributed throughout the body and then eliminated. And since the distribution process is carried out by the circulation of blood, that is, it is carried out by the systemic circulation, one of the compartments in the distribution process is always blood or the plasma. If we can see the definition, it is the reversible transfer of drug between one compartment and the another compartment. So, as systemic circulation, it is mainly responsible for drug distribution process. One of the compartments of distribution process is always blood or plasma, and the other compartment represents the extravascular fluids and other body tissues. Since the distribution process is carried out by the circulation of blood, one of the compartments of distribution process is always blood or plasma, and the other compartment represents extravascular fluids and other body tissues. Taking this point into consideration, on that basis, we can redefine distribution process as distribution can also be defined as a reversible transfer of drug between the blood and the extravascular fluids and tissues. I repeat, distribution is a reversible transfer of drug between the blood and the extravascular fluids and tissues. Now coming to the characteristics of distribution process. Distribution process is a passive process. It does not require any energy and the driving force for this distribution process is the concentration gradient between the blood and the extravascular tissues. And one more point to remember is distribution occurs by the diffusion of free drug, and this process continues until the equilibrium is attained. Distribution process occurs by the diffusion of free drug, because protein bound drug does not undergo distribution, only free drug undergoes distribution. So this free drug, as we all know that free drug concentration is responsible for the pharmacological activity of the drug, and as free drug is responsible for the distribution process, distribution plays a significant role in the onset of action, intensity, and sometimes the duration of action. As only free drug undergoes distribution, and as free drug is responsible for the pharmacological action of that particular drug, distribution process plays a significant role in the onset of action and the intensity of the action, and sometimes it also regulates the duration of action. So distribution plays a significant role in the onset of action, intensity, and sometimes the duration of action. Distribution process, it occurs more rapidly when compared to elimination process. This is also an important point. Distribution occurs more rapidly when compared to elimination. Distribution is a reversible passive process, and the driving force is the concentration gradient between the blood and the extravascular tissues. And distribution process occurs rapidly when compared to elimination process. Distribution process plays a significant role in the onset of action and the intensity of action of a particular drug. Now coming to the steps or sequence of distribution. Distribution of a drug present in the systemic circulation to extravascular tissues involves two steps mainly. Distribution process, it involves two steps. The first step is permeation of the free or unbound drug. Permeation of the free or unbound drug present in the blood through the capillary wall and the entry into the extracellular fluid. I repeat, the first step is the permeation of free or unbound drug present in the blood through the capillary wall and entry into the extracellular fluid. The second step is permeation of the drug present in the extracellular fluid through the membrane, cell membrane of the tissue cells and into the intracellular fluid. The second step is the permeation of the drug through the cell membrane into the intracellular fluid. The second step is an important and rate limiting step of the distribution process. I repeat, step 2 of the distribution is an important and rate limiting step, and it depends on the rate of perfusion to the extracellular tissue and membrane permeability of the drug. The second step of distribution process, that is the permeation of a drug present in the ECF through the cell membrane into the intracellular fluid, is the rate limiting step, and it depends on rate of perfusion of that particular tissue and the membrane permeability of that particular drug. This is the overall schematic representation of the distribution process. So if we can see here, this is a protein bound drug. It undergoes dissociation and liberates free drug. So this free drug undergoes distribution process. Protein bound drug does not undergo distribution. So free drug when permeation of the free or unbound drug present in the blood. This is the blood stream. Permeation of free or unbound drug present in the blood through the capillary wall. This is the capillary wall. And entry into the interstitial fluid or extracellular fluid. The permeation of the free drug through the capillary wall and entry into ECF is the first step of distribution process. Here there are three compartments: blood, extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid. So the first step is permeation of the free drug through the capillary wall into the extracellular fluid. So this is the first step and it occurs rapidly. Now coming to the second step, that is the permeation of the drug present in the ECF. Permeation of the drug present in the ECF through the cell membrane, through the membrane of the tissue cells into the intracellular fluid. The permeation of the free drug present in the ECF through the membrane of the tissue cells into the intracellular fluid. This is the second step of distribution process. This is the important step and the rate limiting step of the distribution process. So what is the rate limiting step of the distribution process means? Step 2 is the rate limiting step of the distribution process. That is nothing but the transfer of free drug present in the extracellular fluid through the cell membrane into the intracellular fluid. And this step 2, it depends upon two factors: the rate of perfusion of the extracellular tissue and the second is the membrane permeability of the drug. Step 2 is the rate limiting step and it depends on two factors, that is rate of perfusion of the extracellular fluid and the membrane permeability of the drug. By this we complete the basics of distribution. In the next session we will be discussing the significance of perfusion rate on the distribution process of a particular drug. Hope you all understood the concept. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on biopharmaceutics.